some opinion that I think is dying to come out right now. Skip Bayless here with us, and from espn.com, Howard Bryant.
Sorry.
You all right there? I know. Your Spurs took the loss last night.
You have a seatbelt?
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
It's starting already. Look at that paper. It's crumpled.
We'll let you get it out momentarily, Skip. It doesn't seem to be as debatable whether or not that was a foul on Brent Barry, but it certainly seems debatable whether or not that should have been called. So I'll sort of ask you both, was he fouled and should it have been called?
Yes, he was fouled, and yes, it should have been called. And the thing about this is the part of the NBA that loses me, Skip. And I'm telling you right now, why does Brent Barry have to say what he said? Why is it that in the regular season this is a foul, but not in the postseason? Why does Manu Ginobili say that Barry has to sell a foul when the referee is 10 feet away? And not only that, but for me, what really bothers me about all of this is that you've got great basketball being played right now, and you're in the middle of a gambling scandal with your referees. Don't you think, at the very least, you should be a little bit more consistent about this?
Okay. Let's start with this. That was a glaringly obvious two-shot foul, not a three-shot foul, as a lot of the happy Spurs haters in the media are screaming today that, oh, well, if he had sold it better, the shot better, that maybe it would have been called. He wasn't trying to shoot. He was trying to get the ball to Manu Ginobili in the corner. It was designated to go that way. So Derek Fisher leaves his feet and collides with Brent Barry, who's looking for Manu, and it's obviously, in any league, in any point, in any championship season, it's a two-shot. He should be shooting two shots to tie the game and send it in overtime. Would he have made them? I don't know. But if you reverse roles, Kobe Bryant is shooting two shots to tie the game and send it into overtime. End of story.
There's no question. And what really bothers me about all of this, too, is, once again, is the selectivity of it. I don't understand why.
But I hear what you're saying but that has been the way it's been for years.
That's
that you wouldn't get that call in the Western Conference Finals in the final seconds.
I have to get to
So why don't you take the referees off the court in the last 2 minutes since they're not going to make calls at the end?
Well, there's something that is going to get called. We yell when they don't swallow their whistles, and we say, let them play. And now we're saying, you should have called it.
Okay, whose call was the last call? Unfortunately, disgracefully, it was Joey Crawford's call. He was the inbounds official closest to the Derek Fisher collision, and he swallowed but not only did he swallow his whistle, he gave his head an emphatic shake. No, I'm not.
He didn't even move.
Yeah, a hot dog shake of the head. And we're back to this. It was a disgrace for this league to assign Joey Crawford to a game of this magnitude, because clearly he was virtually kicked out of the league last year for a long-running feud with the San Antonio Spurs that went completely over the edge at the end of the year. If you ask any Spurs insiders, they will tell you that Tim Duncan has it in his head, right or wrong, but he has it in his head, he can't win a game that Joey referees. So I'm assuming they're deliriously happy in the league office this morning because they want to get rid of the ratings-killing San Antonio Spurs. And last night in the first half, Duncan was in a fog. It's not what Joey Crawford calls on Duncan, it's what Duncan thinks he won't call, the fouls he won't call. Duncan allowed 10 offensive rebounds in the first half that were put back for 10 follow shots. That's it's so out of the ordinary. It's so incomprehensible to me.
So it's the league's fault that the Spurs lost.
Absolutely. They love this. And you can say it's a skipiracy, but I hinged my prediction on this series. I said it on this show repeatedly that if Joey Crawford shows up for any of these 7 games, they will lose that crucial game. There are plenty of competent officials. Why would you risk the taint of this series in the wake of Tim Donaghy by sending Joey Crawford to do this game?
The Spurs went to the line more than the Lakers did.
Okay, but they didn't shoot one fourth-quarter free throw.
Okay.
And Tim Duncan repeatedly looked to Joey like, you're not going to call that? You're not going to call that? It's just in his head. And I can't defend him because you could say the superstar should rise above that. But trust me, it's the gremlin in the back of his head. And the Spurs, it's a trickle-down effect to where they're missing shot after shot because they think they can't win with Joey on the floor.
So are they done? Are the Spurs done now then?
I'm going to say no. They played a pathetic overall game. They had multiple shots to get back into the game and seize control. And in the end, they did get a bad call that could have forced overtime. They've had 2 20-point leads in this series. And you know what? This is a team that needs to be on the brink to take it up to the highest level. They were lifeless last night. I don't think they'll be lifeless in Game 5 in L.A.
Well, they're done if they can't shoot, because right now they're not shooting. You're looking at Ginobili 36%, Duncan 44%. Robert Horry, Big Shot Bob, has not made a shot.
I hear
He just needs one, usually.
He only needs one.
He
hasn't made a shot. And so if they can't shoot the basketball, it doesn't make a difference what Joey Crawford does. It doesn't make a difference what any of them do. And they get a rebound. So when you're watching the game,
I understand.
that game wasn't lost by the end.
I understand. You can't see a sign of life because Manu, as I said the other day, he has no burst and no lift. So he was pathetic last night. In fact, he's become a liability to the point that Brent Barry just kept him in the game. So things are going to have to change, and I have a gut feeling they will change in Game 5.
Well, they are champions, and you don't.
They are.
And everyone says, well, they haven't come back from 3-1. Well, they hadn't come back from 0-2 against New Orleans, and they did that.
All right. Well, the battle continues there. 3-1 is where the series stands, with the Lakers in charge and in command. Coming up in Second Down, we're going to switch gears, talk a little PGA action. Tiger Woods says that he is ready to come back for the U.S. Open. Do we have another Skip-eracy here? We'll find out if Skip and Howard thinks he's really, really ready. Right now, we want to get your take. Don't forget, you can chat with Amy Nelson from espn.com all show long. Amy, I'm not surprised. There had to be comments waiting for you on the Spurs and the no call.
Dana, I don't think I've ever seen as many posts with the name Skip in them as I have this morning. It's crazy. So we've got someone named Sir Charles from Las Vegas writing in, and he says, as soon as I saw Joey Crawford as a ref, I put my life savings on the Spurs to lose at home. And then we've got someone who's identifying himself as Skip fan from St. Louis, Missouri, and he wrote in, he said, Game 5 is as much a must-win for the Lakers as it is for the Spurs. If the Spurs can win Game 5 and get the series back to the River City, they will force and win a Game 7 in LA. Game 5 is do or die for both teams in my estimation.
Amy, can I interrupt? You guys agree? Is Game 5 must win? They have to win. The Lakers need to win that one as much. I know the Spurs.
I think the Spurs need to win.
But is it a must-win also for the Lakers? In the sense of
interesting
they go
way
back?
to look at it. I hope the Lakers feel that way.
Well, nobody wants to go back. I mean, if you're the Lakers, you better close it out now, because then anything is possible. Because you don't want to have the Spurs champion team that they are have a game win. Yeah.
I just agree with Sir Charles.
That was very creative. Amy, sorry, go ahead. I know you got more.
Yeah, I figured you'd agree with the post, since he called himself a Skip fan as well. Monty from Washington, D.C., he also wrote in, he said, no foul. Derek Fisher not only left his feet, but went into Brent Barry. If that is not a foul, then Skip Bayless is always right.
Uh-oh. Well, Skip thinks he's always right.
That puts me in a bad spot. I don't think I can answer that.
Amy, you got anything else for us?
No, pretty much everyone thinking, oh, you know, one other thing, Dana, is that a lot of people actually do agree with Skip and think that Joey Crawford had no business reffing that game. Yeah, a lot of people writing in about that.
Question of possible impropriety. Good stuff. Amy, we'll check in with you later. Don't forget espn.com, the front page, click on your take, and you can talk with Amy. Jay, we also have our Sports Nation poll. Jay, when you're not working, you can log in and vote on this one. Which team's going to win Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals? That's tonight, the Pistons or the Celtics. That series is deadlocked at 2 apiece. And don't forget, ESPN NBA playoff coverage continues tonight with Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, 8:30 Eastern Time, ESPN HD, the best way to watch that one. You can check it out tonight. Jay, now what else is coming up? What other work do you have to do before you can log on and vote?
Well, I will be voting, but quickly, Dana, you mean to tell me Skip isn't always right?
Well, he tells us he is.
Well, I thought
in his world, right? In your world, Skip?
This just in.
All right, Dana, we have a lot more to get to on today's show. From the association, the countdown to the NBA draft kicks into high gear today because